This is Nancy Newhart. I'm the curator at the Allegheny Highlands Arts and Crafts Center, and we're here with Tracy Budd, who is an artist and an art instructor at the Studio School in Roanoke, and we are currently featuring a work of hers, or a show of her work and her students' work called Learning to Develop a Language of Art. The show opens today, July 26th, and will run through August 25th. This art center is open from 10 to 4:30 Monday through Saturday and 1 to 4 on Sunday. There's no charge for admission, but we really like for people to sign that guest book.
I'm Tracy Budd, and I'm so happy to be showing here at the Art Center. And the show, I'm a teacher at the Studio School in Roanoke, Virginia. I'm a graduate of Bridgewater College and JMU, and was a fine art major, never really thinking I would ever be a teacher. But I have been a teacher now with the Studio School for 23 years, and it's enriched my life. I just can't even, it's my happiest place to be. When Nancy asked me to do a show for Allegheny, I have plenty of work, and that was a great idea. And I just kind of one night late thought, wouldn't it be awesome if I got a group of my students who I know are some are showing and some have never shown before, to show with me. And my show is Tracy Budd and Friends, and these are students of mine at the Studio School. Some are long-term, I've been with me for 15 years, others have just started, and we're all on a journey to try to develop our language in paint, and that's what we kind of talk about every week. Is we're all different, but the energy in the room is addicting, and we just really it's an environment that we're all on a journey together, but all separately as well. And I feel like it's my job as a teacher. My main job as a teacher is to identify in my students where they are going with their art, where they want to take it. Not that they would paint like me, but that I would be able to identify what's in their brain and how they're trying to say what they're trying to say in paint. And it truly is a very personal journey, and it's an interesting, if you've ever taken group lessons of any type, it's spiritual, it's
collaborative.
I, for years, have gone to Maine to paint, and I have painted actually one boat in Maine. Every year I'd go to see this boat that was pushed up on the side of the beach, no longer being able to be used, and each year it was more and more broken down, and finally it was underwater. This is the view of it. It's a retired number 5 because I painted it for 5 years. And it's actually underwater. I feel like I knew every nail and every stick in that boat, and it was just such an experience every year to get to Maine and rush right to that area and find that boat. This is my next boat that I found that I loved after the retired series, and it's called Grounded. They're both on Yupo paper, which is a wonderful fluid surface that you can do a lot of scratching, and a lot of the paint moves kind of fluidly by itself. You have to learn to control it, but that's fun if you like to feel out of control, and sometimes I do. So I've done a fair amount of boats. I also love trees, and I've done just series and series of some really large trees, which also kind of generated from Maine. I don't like trees with leaves on them. I like the shapes of trees without leaves. They have like personalities, and this one especially, laying in I found it with the light hitting it, just had to paint it. There's a little bit of collage in that piece, but you can't really see it. This is my student, Patty Jones, who I guess has been with me maybe going on the 3rd year. She is retired from her job of many, many years with Carillion, I believe, and obviously had painted before. You can always tell when somebody walks into class. As soon as I saw her brushstroke and how she saw things, there was no question she's a painter. And one of our class assignments last, I think in the winter maybe, or no, I think it was in the fall. We did a series, working in a series class, which everybody really, really enjoyed, because I think a lot of times it's you kind of think you don't have that much to say about something, and having to do a whole group of paintings, even if they're small, like these paintings, on a series seems like a lot. Well, Patty did the cloud series, and they're just absolutely stunning. I mean, every week we just marveled at just how different they are, and how this one has no land base. You're basically just looking at, you know, there's nothing to ground you, like with the ones with the little strip at the bottom. And how different that changes it. It's like you're looking straight up in, and this one gives you a feeling of being a tiny person in our world, with this wonderful sky exploding in front of you. But they're just fabulous paintings. Her colorway, and then this one with the ocean, it's just a fantastic painting. This is Bea Patton. She is my 17-year-old student. This year our summer teacher that teaches our young people did not teach, and so we had a lot of young people feed into some of our adult classes, which we love because it just brings an energy, and it's just good for all these old folks to have this young energy in the room. She was such a she works on a concept. She always has a real thought out what she wants that painting to be about, what the feeling is about that painting, and that's how she designs the paintings, and that's how she comes up with the final product. And this one, especially in class, she was the swing that's burning with the lady. It's called Resigned Rage. It was just really important for her to have the woman in the white dress with the glow on the side, and it was all about that fire to her. And we just enjoyed so much having her in class. She's a brand new student to us, but we hope she's going to continue on. She's homeschooled in Roanoke. And this is Sally Myers, and she is reasonably new to me in the studio school. I guess maybe a couple sessions she's been with us, and this was also with our work in a series. And she took this idea of this wonderful tree that's in her yard that she's always afraid her husband's going to mess up when he's mowing around it, and wanted to do this relief piece and I think maybe we came up with this idea together to put the 4 pieces together. And then the way she's done this background behind it is so unexpected, and I just think it's a fantastic piece. You almost have to see that in person. So you have to come here to see it. And this is another piece by Sally, the tulips in the vase. She's just really got a knack with pattern and enjoys her value, and it's a strong piece. And next I have Stuart Bruce, and Stuart, all of these artists, there are 8 artists with me, and they all have a biography that's hanging somewhere near their work. He is a wonderful, wonderful man that we miss him so bad when he's in Atlanta and can't take a class. He goes back and forth from Salem, Virginia to Atlanta, and he's just a fast learner and a really gets excited, and it's a wonderful energy in the class when he's there, and we love him so much. Anyway, he has just really, really, really progressed with his painting, and he's got 2 here. They've just become stronger and stronger. And this is Leslie Mitchell. She has been, I guess, with me maybe a year on her 2nd year, not very long. She's a hairdresser, and she is very creative. I think most hairdressers are very creative, and she came in one day and showed me her paintings, and what did I think, and where could she go from here? And she has really blossomed. She's just learned, her colorway has really changed from a very muted palette to these brighter colors, and she's gotten into collage, and that's been really an exciting thing too. She's starting to put a lot of paper and mixed media pieces. This is my student Youngju Simpkins, I always say it wrong, Simpkins, and she's been with me for like 15 years. She could teach the class most days. She is a fabulous colorist. Her mind for design is amazing to me, and she starts a lot, like these 2 sunflowers, for example, are started with pieces of collage all over the place. Then she draws her image, and she starts working all of these negative spaces in between these the subject matter, which happens to be sunflowers. The colors break up, but they work together. There's so many unexpected things that happen that they're amazing. And she's really, really taken to mixed media, but she can paint anything. This is Elaine Wilson, and Elaine has also been with me for quite some time. She was a brand new, I want to say, brand new painter when she started with me. She works it like a job. I mean, she leaves class and goes home and paints all night, and works things until she gets it, likes it, paints over it, whatever. These sailboats are from our series class, and what she was trying to do was she started very realistically, and then they became more and more abstract till she got to this piece here, which is just a really good lesson to do, because you learn about just how shapes work together without thinking about all the little pieces of grass and all the little colors and edges. So that was a really exciting series for her. This is Mimi McHale, and she's our wild child in our class. She is, well, first of all, just so awesome. We just all adore her. And look at the energy she brings to the class. She came to me, she's painted for years, but she just really has been working on her style, and I think a lot of times you just gotta have the confidence to decide, this is the way I paint, this is the language that I'm using, and I'm okay with it, so I don't care what anybody else thinks about it necessarily. But in our class, we're also giving and supportive of each other, even though we don't paint like each other. And her pieces are just so vibrant, and we laugh at her in class because she will take a piece this size, bring it to class one week, we all say how great it is, do this or this to it maybe, and she'll come back with the whole thing. It's a whole nother subject matter the following week. She paints over things and changes things and paints over things. But that's the way she sees it, that's the way she learns. And then she had started doing some of this breaking up of these little shapes, almost a mosaic look, and all that vibrant color coming from behind. Several of these have some collage in them, and then of course she paints a lot of these horses, and her horse is just beautiful. With these symbols all behind, this is all symbols, but there's some simple symbols in her horse as well.